Today on r/IDontWorkHereLady, actual employee had to yell at customer bothering me for help while I'm shopping. Just doing some shopping at Champs when I get a tap on my shoulder. Man asks me for help getting a jacket from a higher up racket. Me. Oh sorry man, I don't work here. Other customer. I know you're just taller than me, so can you help? I am 5'9" on my tiptoes and this dude is 5'7". Okay? As I proceed to reach for this jacket like a kid reaching for snacks on the top shelf. I get the jacket, hand it to him and walk away before he says anything. 2 minutes later he says I got the wrong size. An employee overheard this and started asking him nicely what he was doing. He explained and the look on this employee face was perplexed. Sir, he told you he doesn't work here. He is 2 inches taller than you. Why would you ever think you should ask a random person to help you shop? Other customer stayed silent while she went and got the hook that can get closed from high up. The stick that was in the back behind a door that said, employees only. I got rung up after this and they scanned a coupon they had that I didn't to give me some money off as a thank you for my inconvenience. Yeah, I don't work here, but I got asked for help on the top shelf like the jolly green giant at 5'9". For our next story. In this corner, weighing 250 pounds, Mega Karen. In that corner, weighing 90 pounds, Abuelita la Chancla. So while I was browsing through I Don't Work Here Lady stories, I took a trip down memory lane when my brother worked at a southern grocery store chain with green shirts and where shopping is a pleasure. My brother was a cashier. One of my brother's regulars was this elderly lady from Puerto Rico. She'd come by every Saturday to get her groceries. She didn't speak a word of English, but she was so endearing that my brother and his coworkers lovingly called her Abuelita. Even the managers called her that. It turns out her grandson was a fellow cashier, and for big holidays like Christmas, she'd send him in with enough homemade goodies like tamales and enchiladas for everyone. Just a real sweet lady. One Saturday evening I got off work early and decided to get some last-minute things for a barbecue my brother and I were hosting. We were living together at the time. It was maybe an hour before closing, so the store is practically dead. I made the critical mistake of changing into a green shirt, but it was a much darker shade of green than the one the employees wear. I was getting flour when Abuelita, who I had met before on previous excursions, rolled up on her electric shopping cart and politely asked me, in Spanish, to reach something from the top shelf. I helped her and she went on her way after thanking me. 5 minutes later I was in front of the meat counter, debating which brisket to get when I heard the cleared throat. The warning call of the wild Karen. I stepped aside, thinking I was in her way. She cleared her throat again. I turned and looked to see someone who resembled a 250 pounds version of Kate Gosselin, complete with the haircut. This was my fatal mistake. Go to the back and get 5 NY strip steaks. She bellowed. Pardon? I asked, not quite registering what was going on. Are you deaf? She screamed so loud that my ears are ringing. I said, get me 5 New York strip steaks. I'm sorry, but I don't work here. I said, I can get someone to help you though. Don't be stupid, you helped that B-word in the scooter and you're wearing the shirt, you're just being lazy. I was done at this point and said, listen lady, even if I did work here, what makes you think I would help you? Karen raised her fat fist. And then it happened. Something hit the side of her head with a loud smack before landing by my feet. We looked down and see a flip-flop. All of a sudden I hear raised voices in Spanish and turn to look. Abuelita was maybe 10 feet away, missing one flip-flop, and holding her other flip-flop in her hand, winding up like she was an MLB pitcher. She was glaring at Mega Karen with black eyes and her mouth set in a firm line. Her grandson was running up to her, yelling at her in Spanish to put down la chancla. Cue Abuelita starting to cry and tell her grandson that she was only protecting the nice lady who had helped her, and that Mega Karen was going to hit me. Now, by this point the manager is coming over and Mega Karen must have realized she'd done goofed up. She pulled the quickest disappearing act I have ever seen. I returned Abuelita's flip-flop to her and thanked her. I also made sure the manager knew that Abuelita was trying to defend me. And that is the story of how a Mega Karen learned the terrifying power of Abuelita and la chancla. Let's dive into our next story. No can do, they said everyone. This one happened to me a couple years back. I was down in Georgia camping for a spring vacation and happened to be wearing a nice red polo shirt and wandered into Target to pick up a few gifts for my family back up in Canada. While perusing the back shelves, a harried-looking Target manager runs up to me and tells me to get in the back. I try to tell him, hey, I don't work here, and he interrupts me with a pass. I don't care what you're doing, get in the back. And basically dragged me into the back area and over to one of the office conference rooms for a presentation from a regional executive. There were a lot of people in that office, and it seemed like that Target had called in everyone who would normally be off shift into the office for this meeting, so they had a lot of people that some managers had never interacted with before. I'm guessing that's why I got dragged in. It was very obvious to me that anyone I made eye contact with knew I didn't work there, since they were all laughing at my bewildered WTF am I doing here look and my wearing the wrong pants. Then the executive rolled in and ran an hour-long presentation about some variety of performance metrics, some new fast business action plan, or something that I tuned right out. I probably could have left if I actually made a real effort, but it would have caused a stink and definitely made the store look inept in front of their big boss, and I'm not that much of an a-hole. Also, the meeting was catered, so I took advantage of the free lunch. After it was done, we all filed out, I headed off to buy my purchases, and the cashier glanced at my shirt and gave me the employee discount. Edit. Just to clarify, I was being Canadian when I said I was dragged. The manager didn't physically drag me in, he glared at me and kept telling me to hurry up, and so I was bound by social convention to follow him and see whatever hilarity this was going to lead to. On to the next story. Dude, I promise I can't help you. This happened last week and I still find it funny, so I thought I would share. I went to my local Walmart to find a new tower fan since my dog body slammed my old one, and to buy some dog and cat treats. I was stood in an aisle looking for a dog-proof tower fan when a tiny Latino man poked me on my arm repeating the word conserva, and then help in English. Now this guy couldn't have been taller than maybe 5'1", he looked like he was in his 60s or early 70s, and he started asking me where some kind of food or plant was along with repeating conserva. I don't speak any Spanish, but I understand some easy words. I tried to explain that I didn't know what he wanted and that I didn't work at Walmart, but it was clear that we didn't understand each other, so I walked away to find me some dog and cat treats. Also, the fan selection at Walmart blows. The guy keeps following me around the store and kept asking me things in Spanish, so I don't really understand anything he's saying. After a few aisles of him doing this, I stopped, looked at him, and all I said was, "Dude, I promise I can't help you." He finally said okay in English and walked away. I figured he had given up after understanding what I said, or maybe he recognized that the grungy dude in the hole-ridden Carhartt t-shirt and basketball shorts wasn't his guy. I eventually found some cat treats, and while walking down the aisle to where the dog stuff was, the Latino man approached me with one of the managers in tow. He was taking to the manager in rapid-fire Spanish, who was then responding in very slow Spanish back to him. It was kind of funny, to be honest. And the manager asked me, "What did you promise this man?" I responded I promised him nothing, except that I couldn't help him. And then what's up? The manager looked back down at the Latino man and asked him something. Then the manager said to me in a very confused tone, he said, "You promised him something?" Now, I was at the end of my line with this guy, so, admittedly rudely, I raised my voice a bit. All I said back was, "Did he also mention the 15 minutes he spent following me around this store, hounding me for stuff in a language I don't speak? I don't know what he's telling you or how that affects me, but can I finish my shopping? The manager apologized for stopping me and walked away while arguing with the little guy in Spanish. So I thought it was over. I took my basket to check out when the very same tiny old annoying Latino guy stopped me again at the checkout line with who I'm assuming was his daughter on FaceTime. He pointed his phone screen at me, his daughter saw me and went, "So you obviously don't work here," said something to him in Spanish angrily, and then he said something back and got huffy. Then I got to stand there next to him while his daughter berated him for bothering random people in both Spanish and English. The daughter at least said sorry as he was walking away, but I couldn't really hear what she was saying because he was power walking away from me at Mach 5 while she said it. This doesn't really have a point besides making my day worse when it happened. However, I did buy a fan online and it's been completely dog-proof so far, so at least that went well. Our last story for today. Pizza wrong phone number. This story is from 1991. Yes, old, but so am I. When I was in high school, our phone number was one digit off from the local chain pizza place. Rhymes with Skittle Pleasers. We always got wrong numbers for them, especially on weekends. It was never a big deal. People would mumble a confused apology and go digging their phone book back open, see their mistake, and mumble another apology and hang up. It became a running joke between my dad and I how many Skittle Pleasers calls we each would field. We even kept a running tally on a kitchen magnet notepad. On winter weekend the phone rang, I picked it up and answered. "Me? Hello? Random. Yeah, I want about 4 pepperoni personal pizzas and a 2-liter Coke. How much is it?" Me? "This isn't Skittle Pleasers Pizza, sir. I'm afraid you have a wrong number." Random. "I don't give a shit if you're busy, just take my damn order." Me, this isn't Skittle Pleasers. Random. "F you kid. Get you GD manager on the phone now. Effing moron." Me, at a loss for words, puts the phone on the counter and goes down to my dad's basement workshop and fills him in. He tells me, "It's all good, son, I'll handle it. I charge back upstairs to listen in on the other line in the kitchen. Dad. Hello? Random. Yeah, like I told the dumbass kid, I want 4 pepperoni personal pizzas and a 2-liter Coke. Dad. Yeah, not gonna happen, cause this isn't Skittle Pleasers. Random, what the F? Are all you mother effers stupid there? I'm coming down there and you better have my sheet ready. Dad, they won't have it ready, moron, cause you called the wrong number. He chuckles good naturally. Random. F you, pal. I say F the pizza. Now I wanna kick some ass. How about I come to your place instead? Dad, I'd give you directions but you'll never figure out how to get here. Random. How you figure that, smart guy? Dad, you can't even string 7 numbers in a row correctly. He now laughs harder. Random. F you. Dad, good luck, dipsheet. The old man then gave a good old-fashioned analog phone slam hang-up. You young people have no idea how immensely satisfying it is to slam an old rotary phone into its cradle. He then called the operator, blocked the number, called a friend on our small town's police dept, and then, just in case, called Skittle Pleasers and warned them about Random. When Random did show up at Skittle Pleasers Pizza and stormed in, an officer was waiting in the back just out of sight. It was the talk of the town for a week. Over the years, only family has known the story, until now. I miss you, old man. And those are all the stories we have for today. See you tomorrow.